What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the Design Lounge. Today I'm going to be making my own JoJo concert poster. Last week I went to go see her and it was a great show. However, they didn't have a concert poster, which really sucked. So I'm just going to make my own. So let's get started. Okay, so as you can see here, I actually kind of got started a little bit on this. I just wanted to get a few different things just to kind of throw some ideas down, a basic color palette, and I also want to use something with a butterfly. And the reason for that is because if you listen to JoJo's latest release, it's an EP, and it's called Trying Not to Think About It. It's this album right here, and it's actually really good. And the intro track, it's called World of Sunshine. She mentions rainbows and butterflies, so that's kind of what inspired this. And it was the latest release leading up to the concert that I went and saw in Nashville. And so I kind of have this idea in my head of what I'm wanting to do. And I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a black background. Let me turn on smart guides real quick. Or a near black background. I think we'll go with something like this, maybe 15% black, but you can always change that a little bit later on. So let's go ahead and get our sizing right. I'm going to get 18 by 24, and I'll worry about like bleeds and everything like that later. This is something that I will get printed for my wall, either in my office or maybe down in the garage. I'm not really sure yet, but they used a lot of they use all kinds of different light colors, but the ones that I paid attention to the most and the ones that I noticed the most were blue, purple, and pink. So that's kind of the vibe that I'm wanting to go for here. And what I'd like to do is something made up of thin lines, because I really do like thin lines a lot. So the first thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to change that from a fill to a stroke on the butterfly, and I'm pretty happy with that. So like this is 18 inches wide, so I'm going to do 14 inches. That way we have a 2-inch margin around each side. And what I think I'll do here is do like an offset path, and I may actually thicken the stroke now that I think about it. I think I might do that. So just a little bit, maybe to 2 points instead of 1, just so it shows up a little bit better. So I'd like to maybe go kind of dramatic on this, but I'm just gonna kind of repeat this over and over again. And so it's going to be pretty uniform across the board, that it's negative an eighth of an inch, so negative 0.125. And I'm going to keep going until I can't go anymore. This part is tedious. Unfortunately, there is no keyboard shortcut for this. I wish there were, but there's not. Let's see here. So yeah, the size is 18 by 24, so this will be a nice large poster with a lot of really good details in it. And what I'm going to do now, I don't think that it can go any further. Let's check it out. Yep, can't go any further. Okay, so I'm going to grab all of this right here and put a round, just kind of make everything round on it. And now what we got to do is we're going to do something similar to like what the blend tool does. So what I'd like it to do is go from purple on the outside and pink on the inside. Let me see if any of these look better. I think I may align the stroke to the outside just to kind of get it a little bit more, like those areas where the stroke is really tight. I'm gonna just kind of open that up a little bit. All right, so this will also be kind of tedious, and I may actually speed this part up because I don't want you to have to sit through me counting all the different ones here and then applying the blend to that. But basically what I'm going to do is I'm going to first off find out how many of these instances we have right here, and then make that number over here. And I'll just kind of visually simulate what I'm going to do. So we're gonna do this. So I'm gonna get each one of the steps between those colors, going from purple to pink, and then we'll just and we'll carry it over to the butterfly itself. So I'm gonna go ahead and speed up now. All right, in the words of Jimmy Fallon on Old School SNL, and we're back. Very funny. I do miss that skit a lot. Okay, so what we did there was we went from pink all the way out to purple, and we followed each one of those steps, just kind of going from the blend mode. So there were 19 in total, so I did a blend of 17. So that way we have one on the start, one on the end, and then the 17 in between, and then that adds up to 19. All right, so what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna do a rainbow shape. It's not gonna be a rainbow made up of all kinds of different colors, but we are gonna make it up of blue, pink, and purple. So what I'm gonna do here is I'm gonna set my starting point probably somewhere like around here. I just kind of want it to. I really want the butterfly itself to be the focus, not the rainbow. So I think I'll just kind of push it down by 1/2 inch, and then we'll bring this in, and I'm gonna go. Let's see. Okay, yeah, we're not gonna resize. I'm just gonna go down to here and just probably take it, right about there. And then what we'll do is I'm actually gonna duplicate this. I don't want to use the blend tool on it because I want it to be exactly 1/8 of an inch going all the way down. So we're just gonna kind of get it until it goes to about where we have it. So that's good right there, and then we'll just delete that one that we had for reference. And I can tell that one thing I'm gonna need to do here, let me go ahead and lock all of these, and I'm gonna actually put a fill color of the background that we're gonna be using into here, and then bring it forward so that the butterfly is in the front and the rainbow is in the back. Okay, so let's go ahead and lock the butterfly. Actually, I need to unlock everything first. Let me select all of this, and then invert the selection, deselect this, and that way we've just got the butterfly, and we'll lock that butterfly. Okay. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before, but now we have a lot more lines to deal with. So we're gonna that's gonna open us up to more colors. So I'm gonna do the same thing that I did before, and I'm also gonna speed up the video so you don't have to sit through it. All right, we are back. Sorry, that was very tedious, I know, but at least you didn't have to sit through it. I did. So, thanks. All right, so what I'm going to do now is I'm going to go ahead and group all of those together just so I can grab everything all at one time. So let's unlock the background, and I'm also going to grab all of this and unselect this so that I can grab the butterfly. So let's make sure that that is completely center, and it should be. And then that way we can just kind of move these independently if we need to. But I do like the placement of them. So one thing that I think may be missing, and let me just kind of give it a shot here, is some antennas, or antenna. Is it plural? Is plural of antenna? Any English geeks out there that can help me with that? All right, so let's just do this, and we'll reflect. We'll go right there, and I think that we'll just kind of, what we'll do is we'll space them out little bit. I think that's good right there. And then group it and then center it. Okay, and then I'm gonna put it behind the actual butterfly itself so that that color isn't just kind of sticking out right in front of the butterfly. So, all right, I think that's good. And actually, now that I look at it, it may need to be longer. So maybe we'll go all the way up to this right here. Maybe that's a little bit too long. And reflect this, and we'll do the same thing. Just kind of bring it in about like that. I think that looks good. Okay, group, and then center, right behind there. Good. All right, we're looking good. Okay, that's better. All right, so let's go ahead and put her name up at the top. And I'm leaving that that one behind right there so that I can easily grab that particular font, because I really do like this font. But what I'm gonna do with this, it's gonna be a little bit different. We're gonna do a similar effect that we did already with the lines. So let me go ahead and kern this to where I want it to be. And we'll just kind of grab and see it's -40, so we'll do the same thing there. Okay. And select this, create outlines, and I'm going to switch it over to a stroke. And let's push it down 2 inches, and let's set our anchor, or our reference point, to the top. Sometimes I call it anchor point, sometimes I call it reference point. It's really, you can just kind of use them interchangeably. All right, so what I'm wanting to do with this, I want to do something similar. So let's do 2 point. And I really do like the flow going from purple on the outside to pink on the inside. This shouldn't be too much to work with here. So I'm gonna go ahead. Excuse me. Sorry, I'm gonna go ahead, get some water before I do anything else. I really have it all together today, don't I? Okay, so let's do this offset path. And this won't create that many, so we don't have to, it won't be super tedious to do this. But I do kind of like the effect that we've got going on here. It gives it kind of like a bevel effect on the inside. And I think I counted 5 total. So let's, I'm gonna ungroup everything. 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Won't take too long to go through that. So I'll actually show you all the steps on this one and not speed up. All right, so we just need 3 in between, and we'll change that bottom one to the pink color. All right, so select the innermost ones here and color this pink, and then go to the next one out. It may be tedious, but it's not as tedious as the other ones where we have, dozens of them. All right, and we don't have to do the very last one, which is good because it's already purple. Okay, looking cool. All right. I'm definitely going to add in some kind of element, maybe like a 4-pointed star or something like that. I think that would really add to this. So let's go ahead and start working on. I think that we've got all the graphical elements, but let me. You know what? I want to add the type first. So let's go ahead and get our type set out. What we want to do. I actually have written down all the things that I want to get on here with the type. So let's do something like this. It's going to be the 2022 tour, which is what it was called. It didn't have like a fancy name or anything, although I probably, after playing around with this, I probably would have called it the Rainbows and Butterflies Tour or something like that. I'm going to grab just the outer one here and then go back and regroup these things together. And I'll just kind of put it right here. What I want to do is I want to do a curvature with that 2022 tour. Right there, I want it to follow the path of the rainbow. All All right, it looks like we just got to rotate it. Oops, not that far. Okay, there we go. We'll get rid of this. And I'm going to, I'd like this to be pink. And what we'll do is we'll give it a baseline shift so it's not sitting directly on top of the rainbow itself. And then I think I'm gonna increase a little bit, but not too much. I think that's looking good. I think I may actually have it hover just a little bit more. So that way our spacing is a little bit more equal around everything. So I like that. And we've got good optical kerning there. Let's see, maybe just kind of pushing this out a little bit. I think 200 is looking good. All right, so let's go ahead and create outlines. And what I'd like to do here is I'd like to do, let's copy and paste in front. And that may be a little bit too much, so let's do this. And I want to do an outline here. And I want that outline to be purple with no fill. And we'll bring this to the front. Okay, that's pretty cool. I like that. So that way, you know, that way with our solid text, we still have some kind of a call to what's going on in the rest of the poster, and I think that's important. So as we're doing this, I don't have any plans of putting anything else in that section. So what we'll do is, let me lock the background, select everything, and I'm just gonna kind of bring this up just a little bit. I want the spacing to be, you know, pretty good. And I think I'll probably just, all right, I think that's looking good. It's actually a little bit too close, so let me push it down maybe another, let's just push it down a ½ inch. I think that looks good. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's looking good. The spacing's good there. And we still have plenty of space on the bottom for whatever text we want to add and whatever margin we want to keep there. So I think we're good. All right, so I have written down here, let me just kind of read off of it, reset my baseline, and it's going to say width. And let's just go ahead and get all of the text typed out first. The opening act was, oops, hang on. How do you do the, you know what? Let me just Google her real quick. The exact, there we go. I just want to grab that. I want to make sure that that little accent mark is kept in her name there. Lindsay Lomas was fantastic, by the way. If you are a JoJo fan, then I think it's a pretty easy transition there to like Lindsay Lomas. She was very talented. I was a big fan of hers. Okay, so let me do this. You know, so far I haven't used that blue color, so I may do it with the width. I think that's looking pretty cool, and I think that purple is going to be too dark for the solid type. Okay, that's nice. I like that a lot. I think I'm going to tone down the tracking a little bit, maybe something like this. Yeah, that's better. That way it's not taking up too much of that horizontal space. And so I want to put some a little bit more information down here, and it was at Cannery Ballroom. And that was up in Nashville. It was a great venue. I really liked it. The show itself, I believe it was sold out, and they had everyone packed in there pretty good. Okay, do we have it? Oh, 70, not 80. I'm gonna make sure that those two match each other. Okay, and I'm gonna just kind of make sure that is centered. It is good, and just kind of bring this up. I want to optically align this, and then we can just kind of align it to whatever the nearest is right there, and we'll set this to exactly 9 right in the center. Actually, let's see. I think I'm gonna trust the align tool on this one. All right, so let's bring. I want to get this exactly there, and then push it down from that point. So I think that maybe 3/4 of an inch is good, and then I'd like to add a little bit more, just kind of secondary information here. I've got it, like I said, I've got it all written out here, so let me just kind of read off of this. I think I'm gonna, first off, let's do this. I wanna take that all caps off, and I'd like to do something cool with that TH right there on the 17th. So this was a great show, by the way. If you ever get a chance to see JoJo in concert, she really put on a great show. Okay, ages 18 plus, and I think what we'll do is we'll kind of bring this down. Let's set our leading to auto on this one, and since we have that 2-inch margin, I'm going to push it all the way down to the bottom and then bring it up by 2 inches, and then we can just kind of adjust the rest of the type as we go. Let's see here. We may need to give ourselves a little bit more margin. So let me just kind of play around with a couple of things real quick here. I think we may do 1.5 inch, because 1.5 inch may be enough to give us exactly what we need. Okay, yeah, that's good. That was good right there. All right, so let's work on the foundation first. I'm gonna go ahead and lock this because we don't really need this anymore in terms of editing it. So let's go here. I'm gonna redo this just to make sure I did it exactly right. Okay, -2 inch. Oh, sorry, not -2, -1.5 inch. That's our margin now. Okay, let's do this right here. I think what we'll do is we'll do -3/4. Yep, and then -3/4. So the reason why I'm bringing it down exactly to where the type is because if I were to do spacing, if I were to distribute spacing with the Pathfinder tool, then it's going to take into account the actual text box itself. I don't want it to do that. I want it to only align to the actual glyph of the text. So that's the reason why I'm doing it manually. All right, so I think that is looking good. And I'd like to add, I feel like there's just something missing. So let's add in some stars. And what we do here with this, let me see, let me remember exactly how to do this. I believe you do a circle, and the kind of star that I'm wanting to do is like a 4-pointed star. So we'll use pucker and bloat. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. Maybe -60. I think that's looking good right there. We'll expand that. And now we'll just kind of bring it down to like 1 inch, because these are really just going to be like, you know, accents that we're going to be putting in. And I'd like to at least experiment with this. I think that looks pretty cool. And I'll just kind of play around with the colors as well. But I think that 1 inch is looking good for that. And then we'll do the same thing here. And I may even do, let's see, am I happy with the blue, or do I want to, I think pink. Yeah, I think pink is going to be best for that. And then we can save maybe a blue star for somewhere else. So if we're going to do this, we'll do 1 inch margins for the stars. And I think that I may do purple for the outer. And then, let's see, did I do 1 inch? Yeah, 1 inch. And let's maybe bring it down to something like this. It's a little bit too much. Maybe 1/4 inch. Yeah, that's good. And then we'll change this to blue. And I think I may actually move it in a little bit. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side. See, do we move it in? Yeah, we moved it in 2 inches. Is that right? I think it's a little bit too far in, so let me push this out. Okay, yeah, that's better. Okay. And then I'd like to maybe kind of fill up this space with another star, and I think I'll do a stroke on that one, and we'll do purple in that space, and then we'll just kind of mirror the same thing over here. And let's figure out exactly what our placement is. So we'll just go 4 inches and then 7 1/8. 7 1/8, and let's send this all the way over here, and then we'll do -4 to get the placement precise. All right, that's looking good. And then let's add some more stars toward the bottom area. So I'd like to kind of keep this border around here, so we'll go all the way to the bottom. And then maybe we'll mirror the same thing. I think we'll just mirror the exact same thing. And since it's the same shape all the way around, what we can do is transform, reflect, and we can do a horizontal reflection there. Okay, let's group it together. And I think I'll send it down to the bottom, and then, oops. And we'll just kind of move it this way. And I think I like this. It's looking good, but I think what I'll do is get a little bit more precise. And let's align that purple. Okay, well, I think that's okay. So that's the difference right there is negligible. So, as Kramer would say on Seinfeld. Okay. Do we have any more? Okay, so the only area that we have pink stars are right there, and I think that's fine actually. But what I may do, let me just try this and just kind of experiment with it, is doing something like this. And then if we're gonna do that, then it shouldn't be in line exactly with those purple ones. So let's do negative right there. And then I think, you don't want to overdo this. These are really just kind of accents, but I actually like it right there. So we'll do, 3/4 of an inch from the sides. Cool. All right. So here is the vector version of the poster, and I think this is looking pretty cool actually. I'd like to bring it into Photoshop and see what kind of final finishing effects we can do to it. So I'm going to go ahead and export this, and then I'll see you in Photoshop. Okay, so I have this carried all over from Illustrator directly into Photoshop, and I kept it as a Vector Smart object, and as you can see, we don't have our background color set yet, but that's really easy actually. So we're just going to add a solid background layer, and I want it to be exactly the same as the fill that is inside of those of that butterfly there, that fill color. But once we go in here and add effects and everything, then it'll apply to the entire thing. So that's kind of an advantage of having that. And then we could also go back and change the background color if we wanted to, but I don't really have any plans of doing that. So okay, so the first thing I want to do here is I found this overlay right here, and I want to apply that. And what it's going to do is it's actually going to, so the artwork below is going to pick up all of those effects right there from the overlay itself. And I want it to be nice and subtle, so I don't think I'm going to go super dramatic with it. Maybe something like lighter color or overlay. Sometimes divide gets a really good result, so we'll just kind of see what that looks like once we get down there, although it is inverted. But I think that I actually like subtract a little bit, although it is a little harsh. So I think what I'll do is just kind of bring it down to maybe 50% or something like that. And let's see, let me try, you know what? I think I like color dodge. All right, so that way, it kind of keeps the brightness there. But what I'm gonna do is I will go in and kind of adjust those levels and curves a little bit. But one thing that's definitely going to be here is going to be some a level of grain. So let's add in some grain there. And I think that I'll keep it to probably around 25 for both. And let's just kind of see, so you can kind of get a close-up as to what that texture looks like. But I just want to get these actually applied first, because I know that those will definitely be there. And then I'm also going to add in a little bit of noise as well, just to kind of give that grain a little bit more variance. I think 20% is good, and then maybe something a little bit softer. It doesn't have to be as dramatic as soft light, or maybe even overlay, but I think I might actually use overlay, or actually darker color is looking cool. So that way it kind of darkens it a little bit, but I'm still not 100% sure. So let's just kind of see. Let's look and see what, divide is too strong. I think that we'll just go up to overlay and then maybe just kind of tone it down a little bit. But let me see, wasn't there another one that worked well? Okay, darker color worked well, but I think overlay, I'm just gonna go to overlay and just kind of bring it down just a little bit, because I want a little bit of variance to be there. Okay, so let's go directly above the artwork itself. And I'd like to maybe kind of play around with the curves a little bit, and it's just going to apply to the artwork itself. And maybe we can just kind of, just kind of dramatize it a little bit. Those colors, I'd like to make them a little bit more vivid, since we have kind of a lighter. You know what? I think I may actually go in and change that background, because I feel like it is a little bit too light. So let's go ahead and do that. We can do that right here in Photoshop. I think I'll bring it down to 10%, and then we'll just go into our Vector Smart object.
5 minutes later.
So for some reason, I am not able to double click on my Smart object. I did update my operating system yesterday, so there's probably just an issue going on with that. So I'm just gonna go in here and grab this. It's kind of annoying, really. Like, I've had so many permissions issues that it's really getting on my nerves. So I don't know what exactly is going on there, but something is happening. Okay, so let's just go in here and do this. And for some reason it is, oh, okay, let me see. Okay, we're good. I just needed to make sure that there was an artifact that was showing up there as I had the selection tool. I just wanted to make sure that wasn't going to happen again. Okay. And why do we've got a slight color difference there, don't we? Oh, that's because we've got the curves applied to it. Okay. There we go. So if I take that off, that may actually fix the problem, because I think that what it came from earlier was we didn't have a lot of contrast because of the background color. So I just took the curves off, and that fixed that problem. So we're good. We're good now. Okay. So looking cool. Give me just a second. I want to see if there's anything else that I can think of here. I kind of had this thought, like, you know what? Let me try something here real quick. Whoa, okay. That's crazy. But I like the idea of doing maybe like some kind of an outer glow. Let me see what it looks like on the artwork itself, all of it. I may just end up doing it on the butterfly, but I just want to see what it looks like on all of the artwork here. Let's see. Let's take this down. Okay. I think it's just going to be a little bit too heavy on all of the artwork, so let me try it just on the butterfly and see what we can do. That's going to make it even harsher. So let's do this. Maybe something like 200%. And I actually kind of like that. I think that that looks pretty cool. You know, glows, you want to be really careful with glows, but since the glow is going into an actual texture right here, I think it's looking pretty cool. And you'd want to get it printed on, you know, like a nice matte finish. But I do believe that I do believe I'm done with this. I actually really like this a lot. So here's my JoJo 2022 tour poster specifically for Nashville. Let me just kind of look over this real quick and make sure there are no errors. I don't see any, but it is looking good, and I really like those colors a lot. And I think there's a good balance of colors there, but that purple going into the pink, I think that's looking really good. And it's also, like I said earlier, it's a callback to the lights that they were using during the show. There was a lot of, you know, there was a lot of high energy, but there was a lot of music that they were using lots of purple, blue, and pink lights for. So, and they were also using green as well, but those are the ones that I noticed the most. So anyway, I'm rambling.
Get on with it. Yes, get on with it.
Thanks for watching me design that JoJo concert poster. If you like this video, please hit like and subscribe at the bottom and click the bell for notifications. It'll keep all my videos coming to you. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Have a great day. Bye-bye.